Black Power. So make this video as short as possible because I now have a time limit on what I can record. But again, all these efforts to censor what I'm saying is a compliment. You know, these motherfuckers can't deal with the motherfucking truth, but fuck it. Right now, our work with these liquor stores is gaining a lot of momentum. It's getting a lot of support. But as I've tried to show over the years, as we become more successful, as the numbers increase, as the momentum increase, state, corporate, and private interests send their Negro puppets to, you know, break up what we're doing. And after you go through it enough times, you don't even have to question who's who and what's what. You can read the patterns and you can see the agendas that come. Creating conflict, chaos, steering or redirecting the focus, the mission of the group. But as the Africa Town Coalition, you know, it has come from a lot of work, and not even the work that those of us in this coalition have done. You know, you go back and listen to the most excellent Marcus Mosiah Garvey, you will hear the same mission. Listen to Ilhaz Malik, Il Shabazz, Malcolm X, you will hear the same mission. You listen to the Black Panthers, for the most part, you will hear the same mission from a military perspective. But from you know, the relationship I've built with Mac Capone over the past 15 years. He and I have pretty much been engaged in this work together. And then Dino stepped into the picture around 2011. Around that same time, Blackson 365 was born out of meetings a dozen or so different brothers were having in the community. And at that point, many of the brothers agreed that the economic should be the primary focus of any successful movement. You know, some of us feel that military has to be first, but because we are dealing with so many cowards, the reality is, unfortunately, a lot of brothers feel we aren't ready. But last year, when we joined forces with Kevin, Wharton Price, and the Black Dot Empowerment Network, that then began the coalition that is now known as the Africa Town Coalition. And that initial connection was in response to the genocide that's happening by pigs. So that is what we initially began to mobilize behind. But, you know, we couldn't ignore the gentrification and the increasing rate in which that was happening, both in what we now call Africa Town and the surrounding areas, South Central, or between the four freeways, the 405, the 105, the 110, and the 10. But it's something that's happening nationally. We also, around that same time last year, one of the biggest prison strikes in U.S. history took place. And as Blackson 365, we became one of the main outside supporters for that. But the Africa Town Coalition has also embraced support for that, as different members are, you know, they were kidnapped and owned in prison plantations. But we also have been working in the economic empowerment side of it, both building our own businesses, trades, and promoting and marketing other businesses that are still out here. And lastly, knowing the need to gain control of self-governance. But over the year, we've documented, shown a lot of our work, from the Break Bread program, feeding our brothers and sisters in the park, but also giving a voice to what is happening, attempting to organize and gain resources. We were blocked as far as getting a lot of those resources, but again, ultimately, the people's support has picked up, and we continue to look to transition from just feeding people to actually getting people stable in the homes to where they can then start to take care of self. Because a lot of people say, oh, y'all feeding them, that's accommodating homelessness. But first and foremost, if you are in that condition to where you can't even think, you know, you're traumatized and don't have the basic things to live, you can't think about building and moving forward with all these other things. But we also, you know, do patrols, counter patrols of the police and sheriffs who are terrorizing our communities. We have engaged in a lot of different work, but surprisingly, these actions against these liquor stores is what has rallied and gained the most support. So right now we are at the moment, I don't remember what day. I think it's day 23 at Huber's and day 42 over at Liquorland. But a lot of state, corporate, and private interests have come forward on all sides, and we have no interest in selling out this idea for Africa Town, because again, it can become an official Africa Town on paper and have the name up there, but as we see, people have no people are scared of black people taking control of our own shit. People feel black people are dumb, don't deserve to be in control of our own shit. But that is what we refuse to allow to happen, because we know how brilliant, we know our greatness, we know what we are capable of based off of not only what we've done in ancient past, but what we've done in recent past. Again, with the Garvey movement, with Black Wall Street. But that is where we know others will be sent into the coalition to try to get us to turn control of what we're doing into the hands of outside interests. Because the moment they can get one or two of us on payroll, they will then have those individuals push their agenda within our movement. And for the most part, we are designed where there is no one leader. There is no elite council dictating to everybody who comes forward, what's going to happen. We have structured it to where it's a family structure. We have structured it to where the community will have a voice in this movement for the community. If we're going to build Africa Town, all those who will be in Africa Town, be a part of Africa Town, will not only have a say in this movement, but it will have a say in the day-to-day operation, the sustaining, if at all possible, the expansion of an Africa Town. So that is the basis on which we're building this. There are talks of possibly incorporating. A lot of us are against that because, again, once you are authorized, recognized, commissioned, legalized by white nationalist corporations, white nationalist governments, they again have different levels of control. Same as far as becoming nonprofit entities or any entity where they are recognizing, acknowledging, funding. Anytime your enemy has any say in what you're doing, is opening the door for it to be taken over and destroyed. And that is basically what I'm getting a call I'm trying to end. But that is basically what we are trying to avoid in the foundation of it. Unfortunately, because of what has been cultivated in our people, gang banging, pimping, hoeing, dope slanging, a lot of it fueled through capitalism, that is where we keep losing, because they keep finding individuals who will rather take that check and have the power their enemy, the temporary power their enemy loans them, as opposed to continuing to build and advance our people, because our power is in the numbers of our people. Our power is in the structured oneness of our people, the organized oneness of our people. But that is where we are right now. As far as moving forward, this week we will have to make decisions concerning the Korean American Federation, the Korean Grocers Association, First AME Church. We get where a lot of people are, don't fuck with them, don't fuck with none of it. But we also get to where if more people don't come forward and help support this movement to drive it forward, we're not going to be too successful. Because again, shutting these liquor stores down is not the hard part. We had less support in the battle with Wiener Schnitzel. throughout the day-to-day battle against Walmart. You know, when Black Friday came, yeah, a whole bunch of folks got out there, but day-to-day, year-to-year, it was about a 4-year battle. Day-to-day, there was very few of us going up inside of them stores, educating, talking to people, and redirecting them to Black businesses. So with the amount of support we have now, we know shutting these stores down is not the hard part. The hard part is going to be what we will build back up. And hopefully it won't be where we make these spots vacant for other outside merchants to come, or for corporate interests or private interests that don't have our collective good to come. So that is why we insist on you who has not come forward yet to get involved, on you who continues to criticize and say what we need to be doing to come forward and help that get done. You know, again, this isn't a reality show. This isn't, you know, something for you to just sit on the sidelines and you know, whatever, whether you out here in LA, come get involved with us, or whether you are in your own city, town, wherever, outside of this state, it's overstanding. It's time to get active. And you have to get out there and mobilize and organize with other people, y'all. You know, that's where we at. And, you know, whenever our transitions come, you know, hopefully we will have done our best in the interest of our people. Because to this point, we know we ain't done shit, because we still being killed every 28 hours. We got a gang of loved ones on these prison plantations. We are being pushed out our communities at an alarming rate. So out of everything we've done to this point, it ain't shit. It's been a learning experience that hopefully we will grow from. But, you know, we are up against some powerful forces, y'all. And unless you come and fully commit to the oneness of what needs to get done, you wasting time. You committing suicide. You know, if you don't get that every man, woman, and child involved in this is needed, and the ones that's not yet involved are needed, and it's not going to work with ego, selfishness, dishonesty, any other bullshit, you know, you basically setting yourself up to have those of us who are a little more out front to get taken out first. But after history shows us, after they deal with the front line, they come and enslave everybody else, or the ones who thought they was kings, they come and snatch their kingdoms from them. So come out them behaviors, come out them egos, y'all, and learn fast, and let's move forward. All power to the people.